What's up, everybody? It's Monday, May 18th, 2015. Hope you're doing good. The title of this video is Christians Are Being Killed in Mass All Over the World. The reason why I'm making this video is because I saw a video that was posted over the weekend. I was wanting to make the video sooner. Probably should have really made it a long time ago, but saw a video basically which was cleverly made that's illustrating that ISIS and Muslims and all these extremist groups are creating this attack on Christianity. And Christians are all clamoring to this idea that we're in the time of tribulations and that Christians are being persecuted and that en masse all Christians will be rounded up and destroyed, and there's an attack by the Antichrist, whether it be Obama or it's the Pope or whoever you want to say it is, Vladimir Putin. They're all the Antichrist. They want all the Christians dead. The Christians are saying they've taken the word God out of the Pledge of Allegiance. We're taking God out of schools. We're taking it out of the government. That's going to be the content of this video. The reason why I'm making this video is because after watching this video, which was super disturbing, it's full of a whole bunch of graphic images of, ISIS rebels, beheading Christians, mass graves, sermons from priests or preachers, excuse me, saying the end times are near, the end times are coming, the great tribulation, the persecution of Christians. I want to ask you guys, like, seriously, is this really that? I mean, is it really not the time? Are there really more Christians dying now than ever before? Think about it. My argument is there's probably less Christians being killed now than at any other time in the history of mankind that we have recorded, seriously. In the very beginnings of Christianity, it was more or less like a secret society, honestly. And Christians were really persecuted back then. I mean, shit, we'd throw them to the lions, throw them to the gladiators, crucify them, put them on crosses, burn them alive. I mean, seriously. For thousands of years now, Christians have been persecuted against. Christians have been killed. There's never been a better time, really, to be a Christian or a safer time to be a Christian. Now, I remember back when the swine flu epidemic happened that, I had made this video that Egypt had killed every single pig in Egypt, basically, to protect themselves against swine flu. And the Christians immediately came out and said, well, this is an attack on Christians because only Christians eat pig meat. And the Christians who live in Egypt live in squalor. They basically live in trash-filled streets, and that's what the pigs used to eat. The Christians would eat those, and since they took the pigs away, now they're going to kill all the Christians in Egypt. And actually, not entirely too far from the truth, but I ask you, like, at what time ever has there not been war going on between these religions? Even today, with all the science we have, the logic, all the information we have, these wars still rage on. And as this Christian guy puts out this video, which this is an attack on Christian people, this is certainly no attack on troops, active military, or our military veterans who fought for beliefs that they held sacred. I find it a sacred duty to defend our Constitution and our rights and the idea of democracy, but our democracy is broken. They're using these religions as a tool to inspire our youth for $2,000 a month to fly to other countries and to kill innocent people. That's what this video is about. It's about the idea that on September 11th, close to 5,000 people died. It was a tragedy. It's one of the worst events that ever happened in American history. And not only is it bad because of the death toll, it's bad because of all the lies and everything that went along with it. Now, I'm sure you guys have seen plenty of 9/11 videos, and you guys know the lowdown of that. We all know that the pretense for this whole thing is bullshit. We know that they had prior knowledge of those planes and an idea that this could totally happen. We know that the president, the vice president, Condoleezza Rice, Donald Rumsfeld, and all the other people who were affiliated with the government at that time were perjurers, liars, rapers, murderers. Although they don't ever do any of the dirty work themselves, do they? But let's just assume that those that their official story is true. Let's assume that for the first time in history, steel structure buildings fell down at free fall speeds without any controlled demolitions, okay? Let's assume that they had no foresight of that, even though it's been proven wrong. Let's assume all those things, that a couple Muslim guys planned this out in a cave, went, or what was it, 19, from caves, came, were able to hijack airliners and create this whole event, okay? Over the supposed attack of these, somewhere between, somewhere in the 20s, hijackers, 5,000 people died. Let's assume that's true. Let's assume also that it's true that, yes, a couple thousand Christians have died now recently, because of ISIS and these other Muslim extreme groups, or because of Sharia law and all this other stuff, okay? Since 2001, now mind you, I wanted to compile real numbers for this. I really wanted to compile a cohesive, documented list of the death toll of these countries in the Middle East. And what you'll find if you try to do the same thing is there isn't such thing. There's no such thing. There's literally every different group has their own agenda and has fudged the numbers every which way. Most of the information you're going to get is American information, and I got to tell you right now that these newspapers and media outlets have long since been paid for, and you're going to get no truth from them. We'll never know what the exact death tolls are. I've been told that in Iraq, almost 1 million people have died in Iraq, and of those 1 million people, what is it? 11,903 of them. Let's over exaggerate. Let's add 33%. Let's say 15,000 of them were Iraqi militants, Iraqi soldiers, okay? And then you look at the idea that, Huffington says in 2008, Huffington Post, that 151,000 Iraqi civilians are dead. So 11,000 to 151, that means that for every one troop we kill a little baby. We kill an old lady. We kill a wife. We kill a young boy. We're killing innocent people, and they're all Muslims. You sit here and talk about how, 5, 10, 15, 20, 150 Christians are killed. Yeah, that's a tragedy. Beheadings are a tragedy. All this death's a tragedy. But, they kill one, Christians kill 100 every fucking time. And you want us to believe, you want us to be afraid that Christianity, this is the end, that the Antichrist is here? This is all fear-mongering. It's all bullshit. It's to keep perpetuating this war against these poor, the way they want us to look at as these brown people are heathenistic, and they're, that's what we're good at now. We aren't good at spreading democracy and peace. We're good at killing people who aren't white. We even do it here. We treat black people, Latino people, and any ethnic group besides Caucasian people completely different than we treat Caucasian people. It's ridiculous. It's like racism that never dies. These religions have been used ever since their founding to inspire people to do all the killing for these rich, spoiled, pampered buffoons. And it's been that way ever since. When you think you're fighting a war for the Constitution and for democracy for $2,000 a month to go kill people, you have been lied to, you have been brainwashed, and you have become part of this killing machine. You couldn't pay me $20,000 a month or $100,000. There's no amount of money you could pay me to kill innocent people. And yet what we do is we send our children there. We send our children off to the military and tell them it's an honorable thing, because there was once a time when it was. There was once a time when defending, these ideals was the honor. It was the honorable thing. And mind how I said defend, not attack, okay? We go to these countries with undeclared wars, under no pretense, no evidence, no proof of anything whatsoever. And for every one troop we kill 10, 20 civilians, and we call that justified? You're going to actually keep feeding this machine? If you, if you make videos like this, then I'm talking to you. You're spreading this fear. You are spreading a fear that results in the death of innocent people you've never met before. people like to bash Muslims, okay? They say Muslims beat their wife and men mean, twice as much more than a woman. If a woman gets raped, they kill the woman, not the man, and this and that and the other. Maybe that's true. Maybe it's not, you know what I mean? More times than not, I hear women livers and everything saying, oh, well, the women wear the hats, and everything, and it's so hateful and demeaning towards women. Well, let me put it to you this way, Christians. Female Christians wear a head covering as well, or at least they used to for hundreds of years to protect themselves from the fallen angels from, having sexual intercourse with them. This is old, superstitious garbage. And when you feed this machine, when you try to say that, oh, now's the time of tribulations and all these Christians have died, so what? It's not good enough for you that for every one Christian who dies, 100 Muslims die, 1,000 Muslims die? What blood count is enough for you? You're spreading fear, not love. That's the whole point. You know what I mean? And if you really did believe in the New Testament, you believed in the Bible, you wouldn't judge and you wouldn't spread this hate speech. You wouldn't be governed by fear. And you wouldn't be spreading fear to your followers and to your mass. You'd be spreading love. You'd be telling them to turn the other cheek. You'd be telling them to walk up to their supposed enemies. Find someone a different creed, color, race, religion than you. Shake their hand. Smile at them. Buy them a cup of coffee. Do something kind, and you'll be amazed what happens back. You'll find out you're both human beings. And if you spend enough time talking to each other, you'll probably find out that you have more in common than you don't. And you'll most certainly find out, if you do enough research with love, that you've all been lied to. The whole thing's a fucking joke. I'm a spiritual person. I've been through spiritual things. When I go through hard times in my life, I find myself praying. You know what? There are no atheists in a foxhole, you know what I mean? And I'm a stubborn person. And, when I was younger, I used to think science was God. Science was my religion. Science disproves religion. And religion is this and that. And, everything has been so misdirected from me. The media and everything else. I thought I was leading myself into being an individual or leading myself into being rebellious, when in reality I was just being led like a sheep. We're brothers and sisters. What we should be doing, and I mean all of us, every single one of us, start doing research on this stuff, start figuring it out. Enough people have died now. Enough people have died, and you have no stake in this. For $2,000, you kill people you've never met. You kill innocent people. Our troops who are coming back destroyed. Their soul is destroyed, crushed. And then we don't even have a good contingency plan for that. We don't need to break people down and build them back up. We just need to build people up. Why don't we go to other countries and feed people? If we want to be the greatest country again in the world, why don't we feed somebody? And I don't mean just like with these charities that give 10% or less to the people and keep the other 90% and, don't even have to pay taxes, like the Clintons and all these other organizations. I mean, really, why don't we send our troops to these countries where there is turmoil and where all this is happening and help elevate them? That's what makes people great. Being good. Doing good. Not killing brown people, killing black people. Christians say, 100,000 Christians die a year. That number is bullshit, dude. That comes from this civil war that's going on in the Congo. I mean, 90% of that million people death count that they're talking about is a direct result of what's going on in the Congo, which has nothing to do with Afghanistan or Algeria, Iraq, Syria, Pakistan, any of these places. You know what I mean? 5,000 people die on 9/11, okay? 1 million Iraqis die. That's not enough? How many more people have to die? You guys have lost sight. You Christians have lost sight of the whole fucking thing. You know what I mean? Seriously, how many more have to die before we say we're not sending our children to you anymore to become killers? We're not killing for you anymore. Guys, this system's broken. It's long since been broken. None of it works anymore. There's no real democracy. This shit is fixed. None of it's working. We're not free to even protest anymore. They've completely destroyed the Constitution. You're lucky not to get arrested in a free speech zone. I mean, Even our own people are hungry. There's no jobs left. They keep taking more and more. These same rich people who are inciting us to start these wars and fight these wars are the same people who keep profiting off of us, taking and taking while we have less and less, as they prepare for us to have a civil war or prepare for mass rebellion in which they'll take even more of our rights away. And this isn't new. This is ancient shit. This has been going on since the beginning. Ever since the dawn of time. It's the same story over and over again. They just dress it up as something different. Let's just say no more. Let's opt out. Let's just show love to our brothers and sisters. Seriously, I'm telling you, as a parent right now, no matter what age your child is, if you're still looking after them, have them do anything. Have them even become a musician, an artist. Have them become a doctor, a lawyer. Have them become a builder, an architect, a scientist. Anything but a killer. There's no honor left. There is no justification to kill people you've never met over a war that's a lie, that's not even a war, that's a fucking lie. Are you serious right now? So please, Christians, I'm asking you now, I'm asking you people who are making those videos to think, am I spreading a message of love, or am I spreading a message of fear? I know you're going to get angry when you hear this. I know you're going to interpret this as an attack against you. And if that's what it takes for you to actually sit down and think about it, then maybe that's okay. Maybe that's a good thing. But either way, quit feeding the fire. This isn't enlightening people. This isn't helping people. Showing people being beheaded, that is fear mongering at its finest. You can't take the evil out of people. This isn't a religious condition. This is a human condition. We need to be better people. And the place we start doing that is we stop killing. And there's little ways you can start by doing that. One of the ways I found to start doing it, because I don't kill people. I've never killed a person, at least not knowingly. I don't think I've ever killed anyone or anything like that. But I just stopped killing stuff. Like, I literally, one exercise I do is if I find a moth in my house, I'll save it. I'll let it out. I'll free it. And then people say, well, the moth's just going to fly into a light bulb anyway and it's going to die. We're all going to die. But at least it feels pretty good to save something. Or maybe when you're walking outside, when you're walking in your yard first thing in the morning, maybe instead of just being stuck in your head and going, oh, what am I going to make money today? Oh my God, this ISIS is coming. Oh my God, Alex Jones says there's a FEMA camp. Oh, they're going to steal my guns. Maybe instead of like being stuck here, maybe just look at the ground and see where you're stepping. Because as you're stuck in your own mind thinking about how awesome you are, you're destroying and killing all these things. We have this idea that anything that doesn't speak English is lower than us. You know what I mean? I've actually heard religious people say that animals don't have souls, or that they're just like mindless things, autonomous like robots that go around and feel nothing. This is all a joke, dude. There's no empathy anywhere. Every single life matters, and the best way to save one is not to take one. So actually, maybe try focusing on that. Start small, Don't step on those ants outside, Don't intentionally kill this because it's funny. If you're one of those people who actually kills things and finds enjoyment from it, then, I would say God help you, but, just... I'm sorry. I feel pity for you. I truly do. Not to have the empathy to understand that everything on this planet matters. In fact, you have a responsibility as being the top of the food chain on this planet, with this education and this enlightenment we have, to defend the weak. That is your high calling. That is why you're here. A dolphin doesn't speak English, but they feel things. They feel emotions. They play. They have children. So do whales. So do fish. So do spiders. So do ants. Everything in this world is every bit as important as we are. And you'd be amazed how it feels to be a defender of the meek, to be a defender of the weak, and not a destroyer of other people's lands and a destroyer of life. You'd be amazed at the transformation you will have regardless of your religious affiliation when you make that choice to yourself. And that's the choice that I hope I portray and can convey to you guys. that all it takes is a couple simple steps. And you can start off very small and work your way through it. And hopefully together, we'll end up just telling the government, we're done killing for you. We want to help give life. We want to help grow things. We want to help save the planet. I know it's ignorant, you know. George Carlin said, oh, save the trees, save the bees, blah, blah. And that's very funny, and I understand what he's saying, us thinking that we're so powerful we can change these things. But I'm telling you, together we can at least put an end to these wars. Let's stop sending our children off to fight them. And even if they institute a draft, rip it up. What are they going to do? What are they going to do if all of us just say no, we're done? What are they going to do when we say, we figured it out, it's all a game, and you're not allowed to play it anymore? What's going to happen then? And we wouldn't even have to take a single life to do it. Is that what Jesus would do? Or would he make a video of people getting beheaded? Love you guys. Peace.